Hey, and we're back with another episode of the Basketball Enthusiast. Let's talk about the Lakers today. Now, we just seen the Lakers play the Warriors and the Clippers. What are your thoughts on the Lakers this season?
My thoughts on the Lakers this season is the Lakers like 3-point shooting, which is obvious to a lot of people. Their defense did keep them in the Clippers game, but their lack of offense also helped them lose the game. So the Lakers need more floor space in there. Also, if the second unit or the bench unit they're winning the game and keeping you in the game, then you leave those guys on the floor and let Russell Westbrook sit on the bench if he's not a part of that team. I don't think Dorian should have put him back in because it messed up the flow of the other guys who were in a good rhythm offensively. It messed it up with Dorian putting Russell Westbrook back in the game, so I don't think he should have done that, but I guess it is what it is at the end of the day.
On the flip side, what are the good things that you see for those two games with the Warriors and the Clippers?
With the Warriors game, the Lakers, if they would have made some more shots, I think maybe they could have kept it close, but the Warriors were just in a zone. Their shots were falling, so it was hard to beat the defending champions. The Clippers game, their defense, as I said earlier, kept them in the game. They could have won the game, but they missed too many wide open shots, and it's because a lot of their guys aren't 3-point shooters. So that's up to Rob Pelinka. He's gonna have to surround the team and a roster with some shooters. Which, if you can't trade for him because Westbrook's on the team and you're trying to wait, there are guys who are free agents that you can sign who played for the team last year. I was suggesting. The last 2 years, Wayne Ellington played for the team last year. He did pretty well, and he helped them beat the Dallas Mavericks in the game that a lot of Laker fans remember, where Austin Reeves hits the corner three after Russell Westbrook found him in the corner drawing the double team. But Wayne Ellington helped spark the comeback in that game. If people watched the entire game, there was a point in the game where Russell Westbrook found him at the top of the key twice, and then LeBron found him for a big corner three that tied the game up. So he's still a free agent. If I was the Lakers, I'd bring him back. Ben McLemore, when the Lakers tried to become NBA champions once again and repeat, Ben McLemore was one of the bright spots, how they beat the Brooklyn Nets. There was no LeBron, there was no AD, but they still managed to beat the Brooklyn Nets. Ben McLemore, he managed to hit a lot of three-pointers and he knocked them down. So that's one guy. Those are two guys who could definitely have helped the Lakers because we on the team, there are so many guards on the team and a lot of them can't shoot. So when Rob Pelinka was picking up guards, I think he definitely should have called Wayne Ellington and Ben McLemore back. Like, I do like the pickup of Lonnie Walker. He was a good pickup. Keeping Austin Reeves, I like that. Bringing back Dennis Schroeder isn't a bad idea. Patrick Beverly were good pickups. But to provide other depth, like the only shooter on the team is Kendrick Nunn, and last night he was 0. He was 0 of 8, I believe, or 0 of 9. So Kendrick Nunn, that's the deal. That's what happens when he's your only shooter. That's what I was saying. Guys like Wayne Ellington and Ben McLemore, Rob Pelinka, these guys are currently free agents. Bring them back to the Lakers. The Lakers need 3-point shooting desperately. Like, that's a really big need. That's not like something small. So, like I said, if they can't trade for Buddy Hield or Doug McDermott or any of the shooters at the moment, you can at least sign those two guys. They can help. If you have to waive guys, then if you have to waive two guys that you don't plan on using anytime soon, because it's not a smart idea to go into the season with 15 games in or 20 games in, and you already know none of these guys are going to get any minutes. So if that's the case, you might as well just waive them and buy their contracts out or whatever and make room for the two guys who can shoot, like Juan Toscano Anderson last night, JTA, and Lonnie Walker the fourth. Those are the two bright spots. They were really good pickups. They helped defensively last night. They played some really good defense, and they were the two young guys. They actually helped out the team. So hopefully the Lakers do keep Lonnie. Hopefully Lonnie Walker, he can keep it up throughout the year, and he plays really well. And if he does, I hope the Lakers re-sign him and Juan Toscano Anderson. It'd be nice if they could keep those two guys at least, if they can't keep the others.
Right. Also, what do you think about Mo Harkless possibly being added to the roster?
Mo Harkless doesn't solve your shooting. He doesn't solve the shooting issue that the Lakers have, because he's a career 33 or 34% three-point shooter. But he would help with the wing depth, because the Lakers need wing depth. That was glaring in the preseason to me. So that's why I was like, if Juan Toscano Anderson can't play for whatever reason, or Troy Brown Jr., who's currently out, I think it's his back. Hopefully, wishing him well. Hopefully he gets better. But if those guys can't play for you, you don't have any depth at the wing position. And if that's the case, you would have to have LeBron not only give you 25 to 30 points, but he will also have to guard a Kawhi and Paul George the entire game. And LeBron can't do that. LeBron, at his age, 37 years old, I believe, going on 38, he's going to tire and wear himself out having to guard Kawhi and Paul George, chase them on the perimeter if the other guys can't play. So Mo Harkless would be able to do that. He's a really good wing defender. He isn't the greatest offensive player, so I'm not saying he's gonna shoot 37% from three, but he shoots league average 34% from three, 35. But his wing defense could have definitely helped on Paul George and Kawhi last night, like Juan Toscano Anderson. He did as well as anybody could do, along with Patrick Beverley. But the problem with the Lakers is they had too many undersized guards who Kawhi and Paul George were shooting basically jumpers over, because they have the height advantage. Kawhi and Paul being 6'7" and 6'8", so they had the big height advantage over those guys. So it was easy to shoot over them. That's why I was saying it would have helped in preseason had we been able to sign a wing player who can help us with defense.
Okay, what about Wayne Ellington and Ben McLemore? Oh, okay, so hopefully we'll get, like you said, the wing defenders and the shooters. So, because you said there's too many guards on the team. What about Darvin Ham? What do you think? How has he been doing so far this season?
I do like that Darvin Ham. Credit to some of the Laker fans on YouTube in the comment sections on other channels. They were saying Darvin Ham's doing a really good job with timeouts, which I do like, and knowing when to call a timeout, and he draws up really good plays in these timeouts. So that's another good thing. Like I said, I would just like Darvin Ham. Like I said, if because Darvin Ham should take a page, out of Ty Lue's playbook. There was a game where LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love were playing the Cavaliers. They were the defending champions. They were playing the Indiana Pacers in the first round in Indiana, and Kyrie and Kevin Love I believe they were both struggling to hit shots. And the Pacers were knocking theirs down. Paul George, Miles Turner, and the other guys they had on their team. And the Pacers, I believe, at one point were up 25 or 26 on the Cavs, and it looked like they were going to blow them out. And to try to make a comeback, Ty Lue left LeBron in the game, and he also left his bench unit. And I think it was J.R. Smith and Channing Frye, who was playing the 5, and I forget the other two guys on the team. But I remember distinctively Ty Lue left Kyrie and Kevin Love sitting on the bench. And it actually worked. J.R. Smith and Channing started to get going. LeBron kept finding them in the corner, and they were hitting threes. And they slowly not only got back into the game, but they won the game because Ty Lue trusts his bench, and they proved him right, and they managed to win the game. And that was a really smart move by Ty Lue to say, you know what, Kyrie and Kevin Love, they don't have it going tonight, so I'm just going to put in my reserves, my bench unit, to see how they do, and it worked out pretty well for them. And the Cavaliers ended up winning that game. I believe it was game 3 in Indiana, because I think games 1 and 2, the Cavaliers won in Cleveland. The first one was a close game. I think the Cavs only beat them by 3 points. It was on ABC. I remember watching it. It was in 2017. The second one, I think they beat them by 8. And then that game, they were close again. Game 3, they were close again, blown out by the Pacers. But it worked out well, which is the point I was trying to make. LeBron and Channing and RJ helped lead the bench, and they won the game.
Okay, so you feel like Darvin needs to do more of.
If guys aren't working well, whether it's Russell Westbrook or Patrick Beverly, and their shots aren't falling or they're not doing anything for you, you have to sit them on the bench. You can't just leave them in the game like that.
Right.
Because they're not doing anything that's helping the game. Basically, they're just out there. They're taking up minutes when you could give other guys like Austin Reeves, who I heard also played pretty well last night, should have got some more minutes. Like, it takes minutes away from those guys. So that's what I would like Darvin Ham to work on, is as a coach, is he has to work on being more adjustable in games. Like even Steve Kerr, who's a 4-time champion, I believe he is, with the Golden State Warriors. Steve Kerr
makes good adjustments.
He makes good adjustments. Plenty of times he does. And like as I said, the best coaches with adjustments in the league, who are coaching contenders right now, I would say a Steve Kerr, Eric Spoelstra for the Miami Heat, Ty Lue for the Los Angeles Clippers, obviously.
Even though Ty Lue in the beginning,
Monty Williams, even though he struggles with it at times, because this year Monty Williams actually made a good adjustment. I think it was Chris Paul had left the game. I think it was his hand, or did they say his knee or something? He had left the game, and they said they managed to beat the Dallas Mavericks, where they were getting blown out, which those are 2 examples of coaches trusting their bench, and it ended up working out for them, where Damian Lee and Devin Booker led the charge, and they managed to beat the Dallas Mavericks, just, I believe it was Wednesday night. They managed to beat them Wednesday night after Dallas blew a 22 or a 23-point lead. And I was like, wow. So, credit to Monty Williams and, like I said, Ty Lue. Those are 2 examples of coaches doing it. And obviously we've seen a lot of NBA Finals games and playoff games to know how well Steve Kerr does with that. But Eric Spoelstra can do that as well for people who watch Miami Heat games. He can do that as well, Eric Spoelstra. Kendrick Perkins, which, some people think he's wrong a lot more than he's right, which he can be at times. But Kendrick Perkins said it himself. Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches out of timeouts. The plays he calls up are really good. So I would definitely, if I'm Darvin Ham, just try to watch some film on how Steve Kerr and Ty Lue make adjustments, along with Monty Williams, like what he did earlier this year. So if your bench unit is working, whether it's LeBron in the bench, AD in the bench, or just the other guys and it's working, leave them in the game. Don't mess the rhythm up by rushing LeBron Westbrook back into the game, or AD. They have a rhythm going. Let them close the game out.
Right. Also, just to close out this episode, I just want to say, I know the Lakers have like a window to do some trades, so hopefully they'll make the right trades and do some just do a good job, and bringing in more shooters and maybe a wing or two, but mostly shooters while this trade time is available.
Yes, yeah, that's the thing I wanted to touch on. Excuse me. I believe it was Shannon from Undisputed was skipping Shannon. I believe it was him who said it, or it was Kendrick Perkins on First Take ESPN who has said, according to Woj, there's a report out that that Rob Pelinka will wait until Thanksgiving, and I don't know if he can't wait until Thanksgiving, because the thing about it is the Lakers, they're in a tough Western Conference. Like, I don't know if Jeannie Buss or Darvin Ham, not Darvin Ham, I don't know if Jeannie Buss or Rob Pelinka realize that, but this Western Conference is tough. The Lakers don't want to be, by the time they get to Thanksgiving, they don't want to be like 5. They don't want to have like, let me say not 5. They don't want to have like 9 wins and 23 losses. Like, that's like that could possibly be their, I think the math is correct, that could possibly be their record by the time they get there. And if that's the case, that means they're all the way at the bottom of the West. They don't want to be 15th where they're not even close to making the playoffs. You want to have a chance to make the playoffs. You don't want to be in a play-in tournament again after what happened year the Lakers try to defend the championship.
Right.
So it would make more sense to try to, like I said, make a move now. If you can't, like I said, if the Pacers really don't want to work with the Lakers at the moment, like I said, I gave the example of 2 guards who were free agents, and Wayne Ellington and Ben McLemore, those guys are available. Even somebody like I said, DJ Augustine, he's another guard available. So like, if they're gonna sign guards, like I would have at least gone with one of those 3 if I was Rob Pelinka, because they can at least shoot. They're not knocked down. They're not Kawhi Leonard or Giannis or Joel Embiid on defense, but they can at least give you that offensive spark where they can knock down shots and keep the floor space for you. So it makes it easier for LeBron and AD and Russ to operate.
All right, so that's about it for the Lakers. We just hope that they do much better than last year, especially this year. And so we'll just leave it at that and see what new moves they'll make. So thank you for joining us, and please like and subscribe if you like this video and this episode. And we're just gonna say goodbye for now. All right, see you guys next time.